Hello, I'm Alan. Welcome to the Guitar Shack. Now you might notice it's a different location and I haven't done one of these videos for a while, and that's because I'm currently working away on my day job, which means that my guitar activities are a bit more restricted to evenings and weekends. But I'm still doing guitar restorations. I've done a couple the last few weeks, and then I'm about to start this one. So today's video is about this 80s Tanglewood Strat copy, which is quite a decent guitar actually. It's got quite a nice neck on it. But this one is belongs to a friend of mine, and it's dead from no output, and it's frankly pretty disgusting. So it needs a good clean up. So I'm going to get into this, sort out the electrics, get it live, and then give it a good deep clean and set it up. So I believe this is 1980s. It was his first guitar. Pretty standard generic Strat copy. Needs a good clean. It's got a few bits that are not exactly standard. So it's got this kind of weird flange on the back of the trem system, which I haven't seen before, but you know, it works the same way. Doesn't have a trem arm. It's not bad. It's quite nicely done neck, nicely finished, nice edges and decent fretwork. It remains to be seen how bad it is, but I think it probably get away with just a polish, to be honest. And then it's got two vintage style string trees. It's got headstock adjustment for the truss rod, and then they're not the same as, they're not completely generic tuners, but they've got different flanges on them. So, but you know, pretty much it's a Strat. So I'll get into it and see what it's got. On the back, as you'd expect, we've got Truth Piezoid tuners. We'll see how they work. Skunk stripe neck, and then slightly different design of cover for the trem, but overall it's not a bad neck. It should polish up well, so I need to give it a clean and then get it opened up and get the electrics fixed. So first things first, liberal application of a damp cloth just to get rid of the dust. I don't know how long it's been not working, but I mean, the guy's got several other very nice guitars, so I'm not surprised that it's been sitting, probably not being used for, could be a long while. But let's just get it a bit of a clean up and then I'll get into it. Yeah, so the frets aren't too bad, I don't think. Just get some of the dust off it. So here's a D strung, and it's got quite a decent fretboard. Pretty gunky, needs a good clean, and the frets will definitely benefit from a light dressing. They're not too bad, but I can sort them out. So yeah, this looks pretty good. So that's it, a bit more sanitary. So let's get it opened up and see what's going on inside. I was just about to start this, and then I realised that I had a jazz playlist in the background, which I better stop before YouTube dinged me for it. I don't know what year this is. I'll check with the owner, but it's okay. I mean, it's in decent condition. It's got a fair amount of corrosion on the screws, which is fine. I mean, it's going to be probably about 40 years old, so I think it qualifies as vintage. It's all coming out nicely. So let's see what we've got inside. We've got some very cheap components. Let's just have a look. So we have tiny pots, which have got the thinnest pieces of wire I've ever seen. The pickups are solid metal backs. So we'll get into them and see what's inside here. We've got a plastic switch, which is sort of direct wired, and then everything else is fairly standard style, but very, very narrow wires. But it all looks original. So I'll get into that and see what we've got. We've got a fair amount of gunk inside, but so it's a laminated body, pretty manky underneath it all. So just give this a clean, then I'll get it apart and I'll get into testing the electrics and see what's going on here. I'll just flip the neck off as well, just for convenience, since I'm going to be levelling that anyway. So just taking the back off to unhook the trim. All looks pretty original. I'm not sure if it's ever been apart, but a bit manky. It's standard Strat style trim. 4 springs, fairly small block, narrow. 40 years of crap has found its way inside, so that's nice. I'm going to enjoy berating him for how filthy his guitar is. The other thing I'm going to enjoy berating him for is he's obviously never heard of intonation in those 40 years. Okay, let's get this apart and then we'll see what we've got. So ground wire's there, that's fine. I'm just going to desolder that and then I'll get the trim off. I'll get that soaking, get it all cleaned up and intonated before I put it back on, and then I'll get into the electronics. So that's the electrics fixed and cleaned out. It was just a loose earth, so that's all fixed. I'm going to put it back together as it is. So this is completely standard for a 30-odd-year-old guitar. That seems it's lasted this long, and it'll last okay. I don't know what it'll sound like, but obviously these were fairly basic instruments, but it's you know, it's decent build quality and it's a nice neck. And all the electrics, when I've tested them, are quiet and smooth. So I have high hopes that it's going to be a decent guitar. So that's the electronics done, and so just loosely assembled back on just so it's all together. I have, as I usually do, I've cleaned and I've polished underneath the pickguard so that that's now nice and clean inside, and then you don't get a build-up of crap around the outside of it, so that's all gone. I've now got to, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the neck off and level the neck, and then I'm going to clean the bridge, reassemble that, and then we'll take it from there. So first things first. It is possible to do a levelling with the neck attached, obviously, but I just much prefer to take it off, partly because it doesn't do any harm, but it means that I can keep everything bodywork wise out of the way. You don't get any chance of getting iron filings into the pickups, which is the danger. Small bits of ferrous metal flying around plus strong magnets is not a good combination. These seem quite tight, so it's possible it's never actually been off. So let's see. Also, just see what's inside, whether there's any markings or a date or anything on it. I don't know where these were made, but I think they were actually 90s, which would make sense because the gentleman concerned's a lot bit younger than me, and I was definitely an 80s first guitar kind of guy. But you know, I mean, it is it's a Squire competitor, so it's got a laminated body, but it's full size. It's got a decent weight to it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a generic Strat, and there's worse things in the world than that. Right then, let's see what we've got. So there's no shim. So we've got a plywood body, as you can clearly see, or laminated anyway. It's cleanly enough cut, I suppose. No markings or anything on the neck. You can see where it's got paint hadn't quite fully cured when it was assembled, which is not unexpected. But there's no messing about with the holes or anything, so it's probably never been off. Is that a marking? Is that just marked? I don't know. So no idea what age this is. I'm assuming 90s. But anyway, let's get into the sorting out the neck. So first things first, just need to straighten the neck a little bit. Let's see what we've got from a truss rod point of view. Okay. So that works. That's always a good start. That's pretty flat to start off with, which is good. Just another little bit. So first things first, mark up all the frets. It's just a light bit of wear, mostly on the G string, which happens a lot. I'm not entirely sure why. Right, so mark up the red as an indicator, and then use my leveling beam. So that's the neck done, so level, crowned and polished. So that'll hopefully set up for the next 30 years. So I'll just give this a bit of wax, and then I will get it reassembled, and then we can get back together and do the setup. So last but not least, we've got the bridge. And there we go, one bridge. So here she is, finished. So fixed the electrics, full level crown and polish, full setup and deep clean and the body polish, and she's plays really well, sounds really good. So cheap electronics, cheap pickups, but I think it sounds really good. So this is a nice guitar. So nice entry level, well done for Charlie for choosing it all those years ago, and hopefully, because it now plays slightly lower than Fender specs, so set up, I hope, really well, plays nicely for me, then I think it's going to be a really nice guitar for his children to learn on to, and that's the name of the game. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back in the Guitar Shack soon.